Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamti Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nitaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, 10th chapter. Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. Text number 42 onwards. So Shukdev Goswami is further speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. Sayevedam Jagadhata the Bhagwan Dharma Rubdhek Pushnati Sthapayan Vishwam Tereyang Narasurabhidhi. He, the personality of Godhead, as the maintainer of all in the universe, appears in different incarnations after establishing the creation, and thus he reclaims all kinds of conditioned forms among the humans, the non-humans, and the demigods. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, incarnates himself in different societies of living entities to reclaim them from the clutches of illusion. And such activities of the Lord are not limited only to human society. He incarnates himself even as a fish, as a hog, as a tree, and many other forms. But less intelligent persons who have no knowledge of him deride him, even if he is in the human society as a human being. So there is no limitation or condition on Krishna that he cannot incarnate as this and that species. He comes, not just can incarnate, but he also comes in different species also to just to give a chance to everyone to go back home, back to God, to get out of the illusion. As we have already discussed in the previous verses, it is concluded that the Lord is never a product of the material creation. His transcendental position is always unchanged. He is the eternal form of knowledge and bliss, and he executes his almighty will by his different energies. As such, he is never the subject of reaction for any of his acts. He is transcendental to all such conceptions of actions and reactions. Even if he is visible in the material world, the exhibition is only of his internal energy, for he is above the good and bad conceptions of this material world. In the material world, the fish or the hog may be considered lower than the man, but when the Lord appears as a fish or hog, he is neither of them in the material conception. So in the material world, fish or a hog could be considered very low creatures. But when Krishna appears as fish or a hog or a turtle, then that's not considered material, that's all transcendent. It says it's his causeless mercy that he appears in every society or species of life, but he is never to be considered one of them. Conceptions of material world, such as good and bad, lower and upper, important and insignificant, are estimations of the material energy, and the Supreme Lord is transcendental to all such conceptions. So that's the beauty of Krishna. The words param bhavam or transcendental nature can never be compared to the material conception. We should not forget that the potencies of the Almighty Lord are always the same and do not decrease because the Lord assumes the form of a lower animal. So his potencies always remain the same, even if he comes as a fish or a hog or a turtle or any other species. One compares everything to one's own standard of knowledge, as a frog in the well considers the sea to be like a well. The frog in the well cannot even think of the sea, and when such a frog is informed of the greatness of sea, it takes the conception of the sea as being a little greater than the well. As such, one who is foolish about the transcendental signs of the Lord will find it difficult to understand how Lord Vishnu can equally manifest himself in every society of living entities. So that the Prabhupada says very nicely that one compares everything to one's own standard of knowledge. So we look at everything according to our consciousness, our realizations, our sanskaras, our knowledge, our education, or whatever our thought process is. We look at everything according to that. Not just about the Lord, even in the material world, we look at different things and we think according to our conception or our consciousness. Just like the example is given many times of a few blind men, and they were allowed to touch an elephant, different parts of the elephant, and explain what the elephant is like. So the blind man who touched the ear of the elephant, he said, elephant is like a big fan. The one who touched the tail of the elephant, he said, oh, it's like a rope. One who touched the trunk of the elephant, he said, it's like a big pipe. One who touched the legs of the elephant, he said, elephant is like a big column. Because they all are trying to understand the elephant according to their limited conception of life or limited knowledge. So they cannot really know what the elephant is. So only a person who has a eyes and who has a knowledge, he can tell what an elephant is like. Similarly, in similar situations, not even talking about the Lord, even in different situations of life, everybody will look at it differently, and most of the time they speculate if they don't have the if they don't know the full facts, they'll speculate. And everybody will speculate according to his own mentality, not according to somebody else's mentality. According to my mentality, I will speculate. Oh, this must be the case, that must be the case. So similarly about Krishna, when Krishna comes as a fish and a hog, so people who have little knowledge or little realizations or no realization at all, then that person will think Krishna has become a fish and Krishna has become a hog. Or when Krishna appears as a deity form, they say Krishna has become stone or Krishna has become wood. Deities are not different from Krishna, but Krishna does not become the material form. Krishna is always Krishna. The material becomes spiritual. That's a different story. So people who don't know this, they say, okay, if you break your deity, I have killed your Krishna, I've killed your God. No, nobody can kill God. So that whole understanding is wrong. And uh, that's when people keep on fighting about little things without understanding the whole purpose. Or have killed your God, or somebody comes and tears up Bhagavad Gita or tears up Quran and say, oh, I have killed your religion, I have killed your scriptures. You haven't killed the scripture, you just torn up some pages of a book. Of course, that represents Bhagavad Gita or Quran, no doubt. But it doesn't represent the whole knowledge, whole instructions given in those books. And they just appear as a book form. The knowledge is eternal. Nobody can tear up the knowledge. But for that, one has to understand it properly. One has to understand everything properly. And this judging everybody according to my mentality is is this what that creates the problems? Just like there was this example of two sadhus. They were walking and they were going to cross a river, and then they saw a pregnant lady standing on this side of the river, and she also had to cross the river, but there was no boat. So one of the sadhus, he picked up that lady and put her on his shoulder and crossed the river. And as soon as he crossed the river, he just put her down and she went to her village. So they were walking, the two sadhus were still walking and going to another village. The second sadhu, he just looked at the first sadhu. He said, "So how was the experience?" First sadhu, the experience of what? Experience of keeping that lady on your shoulder, the touch of that lady. The first sadhu who had picked up that lady and helped her cross the river, he said, I I let her go as soon as we cross the river, but looks like you're still carrying her. So everybody will judge others or judge others' actions according to one's own mentality, one's own, and that mentality will depend upon one's consciousness, one's association, one's uh, values of life or sanskaras. There's so many things that constitute our mentality, and nothing can be done about that. Only thing, the best thing to do is to uplift our consciousness. But since we all live in the relative world and we all are conditioned souls, we look at everything relatively. We don't look at things absolutely. That absolute vision is only with Krishna or a pure devotee. They can have the absolute vision. But if because we are not at that level, we look at everything relatively. And that relative vision, that relative judgment could be very harmful. Just like once, I think I read it or heard in Gaur Govind Maharaj's lecture. Suppose, I mean, I'm still going to spend some time on this topic. It's important. Suppose there's a young lady, say 25, 26 years old, beautiful young lady, and because somehow she got married earlier, so she has a 5-year-old son, suppose. Now, this beautiful young lady, is she or her body a matter of attraction in a wrong way for her son or the children of her son's age or the friends of her son? No, they look at her as their mother or even little older than her son. Would that lady's body be a matter of attraction in a wrong way to, say, her brother? No. Her brother will look at her as a sister or her brother's friends. Would that lady's body be as a matter of attraction wrongfully to her father or the people of her father's age, if they are not, if their vision is proper? So no, because they will look at her as a daughter. Would her body be matter of attraction for her grandfather in the wrong way? No. So only a few section, a little section of the society will have wrong intention toward her to in a matter of that I want to enjoy her body in that way, in a wrong way. So so now looking at it, so her body is not the cause of wrong intention. It is a person who's looking at her. their consciousness, their thoughts, their mentality is a cause of wrong intention for that woman. And calling that lady or calling that lady's body as Maya for say brahmacharis or for sannyasis, that is wrong. Because she is not Maya. It's our looking at her in a wrong way is Maya. Not that she is Maya or her body is Maya. You don't look at her in a wrong way, then it's not Maya. It could be like mother, it could be like daughter, it could be like sister, it could be like granddaughter. But that depends upon our vision, our mentality of looking at her. That's why it's relative. Everybody has a relative vision. But when we try to portray that vision, that my vision is the correct vision and everybody else is wrong, that's where the problem is. Similarly, when people look at the Supreme Lord and his pastimes, oh, he comes as a fish. What kind of God he is? He comes as a hog, or he comes even as Krishna when he performed all his pastimes. People still try to find faults with him. Or he performs Ras Leela, that is dancing with others' women, others' wives. That is very immoral. Why people say this is immoral? Because that immorality is in their hearts. Because they want to enjoy with somebody else's wives, or they want to enjoy just like Krishna does in the middle of the night with young gopis. They find faults with Krishna's actions. Those whose heart, those people, those devotees whose hearts are completely pure, because they don't have that kind of impurity in the heart, they don't find impurity or problems with Krishna's pastimes. That's why it is said, an honest person, he will see everybody as honest, even though he gets cheated again and again. But he still, because honesty is inside him. So that whatever impurity or whatever consciousness we have, that puts a kind of a colored glasses on our eyes. So we see things according to that consciousness. And then we think, I'm right. Which, yes, according to your consciousness, you are right, but it's not the absolute vision, it's a relative vision. But then what happens is the might is right, and that's when the fanatics and the people like that of power, but incomplete or impure vision, they take over and they kind of make the rules. But it's not the absolute vision. It's my consciousness which is putting a colored glasses on my eyes, and by what those glasses I try to see the world. So just like Prabhupada has explained in one of the purport, he said, if a businessman, or for Indian background we can understand, if a baniya goes to a forest, he will only see money, because he will see everywhere that this is opportunity to make me money, and this can give me an opportunity to make money. And if a lusty person goes in the forest, he will see everywhere, oh, this place is nice for me to enjoy with women, and that place is nice for me to enjoy. Because everybody is looking at the forest with their own vision, with their own mentality, own consciousness. And if a devotee, if a sadhu goes to the forest, he will say, oh, this is a nice place for me to do my bhajan. So we all are looking at the forest in a different way. Forest is not wrong. There is nothing wrong with the forest. But we all look at it in different ways. So that way or that consciousness, material consciousness, is what we have to improve. We have to purify. So we can look at things clearly with proper knowledge, with proper mentality, with proper perspective. And that purity, that clarity will come when we are engaged more and more in devotion service. Just like Uttam Adhikari, the pure Mahabhagavat, how does he see the world? He sees everybody as a devotee except me. Even though we are not doing any devotion service. But he says, oh, because he cannot see anything except devotion service. He sees everybody, even though somebody is selling something on the street, and this Mahabhagavat will see, oh, he is performing devotion service. Because that's his mentality, that's his consciousness. And a person who is neophyte or even less than neophyte, he will see everybody. Oh, you're all fakes. You're not even doing any devotion service. You're a fake. He'll try to see faults with everybody. You did this wrong and you did that wrong. So, so we have to change our vision. We have to change our mentality if we want to make progress. Otherwise, people can find faults with Krishna also, with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. People who are living right with him. Ramchandra Puri. Ramchandra Puri is god brother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's spiritual master, Ishwar Puri. And Ramchandra Puri was living in Jagannath Puri with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what could be a better opportunity, a better position than that? Not, but he saw that in Gambhira, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living, there were some ants crawling on the floor in a line. And Ramchandra Puri, because of his mentality, he interpreted as, oh, Gauranga, Mahaprabhu, you are eating too many sweets. And that's why these ants are crawling and they are looking for that sweets. And eating too much sweets is not good for a sannyasi because he cannot control the senses. Where did this deduction come from? That was his mentality. Mahaprabhu was not eating sweets at all. So we try to deduce things. We try to uh, interpolate things according to our mentality. And obviously, what happened to Ramchandra Puri that because he committed so many offenses against so Mahaprabhu and against so many devotees, finally he left Jagannath Puri and he became a Mayavadi in fact. Although he was a Vaishnava, initiated by Madhavendra Puri, but he became a Mayavadi afterwards. So this will happen with all of us if we don't improve our vision. We look at things in a wrong way, we'll interpret actions of devotees in a wrong way, and then we'll come to nonsense. Although scripture says, Vaishnaver Kriya Mudra Vigyena Bhuje, means a Vaishnav's activities are hard to understand to be understood by materialistic people. It's very difficult. But we still try to interpret them. We try to give our own justification or interpretation, and then we commit offenses. And then that's a big problem. So anyway, sorry I spent so much time on this topic, but thought it was important. So I'll stop here, see anybody has any questions or comments.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very relevant class, Prabhuji. Very relevant.
Thank you, Mata.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Nicely explained, and thank you for spending time on this one, too. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It was very, very, very nice class. Last class also and this class also. All the classes are very nice. We are blessed to have your association, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you, Mata. I'm trying. Thank you, Mata.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One question. In the incarnation as fish, or for that matter, as hog, like Varadev when he came, or Matsya Avatar. So, the one thing that perhaps I can understand with my limited fund of knowledge is, as human beings, we get association, we learn and do everything. But how do then animal get pleased, or how do they kind of uh, purify their consciousness and return to Godhead, Prabhuji?
Although I haven't read it anywhere yet, or maybe I read it, I forgot. The animals, suppose as a fish, when Krishna appeared, so all the fishes living in that pond, just by seeing that fish, they get purified. Because their consciousness does not get polluted by their so-called intelligence. They are completely under control of nature. So they just get purified just by seeing.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So we'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Radha Prabhu, you were saying something?
First, you are quoting about the
I'm losing you. Your voice is breaking.
I said the last verse you are referring to, the Vaishnava's activities cannot be understood.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that verse coming from?
It's in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'll find and I'll post it. I'll post it on the group.
Prabhuji, one request. You said yesterday that you will post that how to serve Krishna food. वो खाना वो कैसे लगाते हैं? वो वाला अगर बहुत कल आपने बताया था ना कि
Sharira Vidyajal prayer. Okay, I'll post it. I'll post it tomorrow.
And thank you for posting that Tulsi Maharani's like how we should duck and what kind of prayers we should offer. Thank you, Prabhuji. It was very helpful.
You're welcome. Okay, so we'll stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Jai
Krishna.
Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you.